I'm going to record because I didn't have a chance to record this weekend. What I want you to do is I want you to, pull your sketchbook close to you. I'm going to stand because I don't like how short my chair is. And from the angle that I'm at, I like to kind of be up and above my workspace. So you want to make sure that you can see your hand from above as well as your drawing, okay? And what I would suggest that you guys do is think about the basic shapes of the hand. So you're going to, everyone's looking, right? Everyone look at the demo right now, okay? We are not drawing like this. Why are you not allowed to draw your hand open like this?
Because that's tracing.
I get a lot of not drawing, I get a lot of tracing. So you're gonna have to pose your hand so that your hand is bending, okay? And you're going to take a picture of your drawing with your hand. So you will, when you turn it in, you're gonna have it side by side, just like we did with our tool drawings last week, okay? So when you're drawing, can everyone see here on my hand, like the part that's not my fingers? What's the basic shape of this? What basic shape would you say that looks like? Kind of like a triangle or like a trapezoid, right? So you can draw in kind of like basic shapes of like your palm, right? And then you could start to put in like basic shapes of like how the finger is going to bend in space, okay? So it is totally fine to start with kind of like your organizational lines, like how is your fingers going to bend back in space, okay? So what I do is once I kind of get that basic shape in, I go in and I start to add some more specific details. So with my finger, I'm doing this forefinger here, okay? It has a knuckle, then it kind of flattens, and then I have another knuckle, and then I do like the fleshy part of my finger. And so when I draw it in, I need to pay attention to the width of that finger, right? And then I'm gonna draw in, right, kind of like the crease of it. And I need to see where this crease lines up with that knuckle. So it kind of lines up like that. They don't always line up perfectly straight. A lot of times there are angles, right? And I draw on that fatty part of my finger. Now, one of the things you need to keep in mind is that the finger typically gets skinnier as it moves towards the tip of your finger. You don't want your fingers to look like they are all the same thickness. You really want to compare those thicknesses, okay? So for myself, what I typically focus on is thinking about like those parts that are like closest to me. So my forefinger and my thumb. And I'm gonna pay attention to that negative space. What does the space between this forefinger and thumb look like, right? And how do they line up? So my thumb kind of angles back into space like this, and then connects to that fleshy part. So my thumb looks really, really short because it's going back into space. And I can then add in like my fingernail and my knuckle as I go, okay? So the key is to really just draw what you think and not what you know, because a lot of times we think of our hand like this, right? But when it's going back into space, it's not going to look as long and even. It's going to look shorter as it goes away from you, okay? Now I can kind of fix that because I think my negative space is a little bit deeper here. So it's okay to, make changes and make it better, right? So here my thumb is actually a little longer. Now the key here is to start paying attention, right? Start paying attention to the other fingers, okay? So I've done the ones that are closest to me. Now I need to pay attention to the overlap. My middle finger, where does it connect with my forefinger? So for me, it's kind of coming out from this one, right? And it comes like this. And then the crease of it does not line up perfectly with that forefinger. And then it gets hidden and then I can't even see it anymore. So for my middle finger, I only see the first two like sections, like the tip and then the second part of that digit. I don't even see the rest of it. And then my ring finger, right, kind of comes out here from my palm. So my palm is kind of coming out from here. And then my ring finger, which I'm looking at it strangely here. So I think I actually have to move this, right? My thumb, I made it too close. So then my thumb is kind of coming, or my, excuse me, my ring, middle finger comes out from that one and then angles that way. So you've got to pay close attention to what you see. You're not going to see all your fingers. If you had yours like this, but you drew it like this, it would be inaccurate. Okay, so really pay attention to where things line up. One thing you can do, because I was struggling with this part, is I could draw in where the fingers line up. So I could give myself like a guideline and then try to use that to get the right size. So I want you to draw basic shapes first, and then I want you to get more specific, paying really close attention to proportion. Should you draw your hand bigger or smaller or just life size? What do you think? What do you think?
Life size.
Life size. Life size is going to help you with proportion, making sure that you compare height and width of not just your palm, but each finger, and comparing each finger to each other. So if you draw life size, it's going to be more accurate. Okay, so go ahead and do your best. I need to correct mine. Mine's not perfect here. And so I want you to keep in mind that we're going to spend just the whole time today working on this hand. We will take some time to photograph it, but I really want you to fine tune it so that it looks like what you see, not what you think you see. So take some time.